What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Anchored In podcast. I'm Cohen Ingram alongside the man, the myth, the legend, Jack Billings. No Luke today. We are down a body, but we're still trying to make sure we bring you guys an episode this week. We've got USA versus Canada recap. NHL is back. Blue Jays are back, and the Raptors are in the final stretch before their big playoff run. So it's going to be a jam-packed episode here tonight. We have to start off with the heartbreaking loss this Sunday to cap off the Olympics. Jack Pal, how are you feeling after this gold medal game? Is it still bothering you, or were you able to get out over this big hump in your week?
Well, I mean, it's a good thing I'm no stranger to heartbreak, which is good. I guess that pops back into use. Yeah, man, I'm just trying to keep on keeping on here. I'm not happy, obviously, with the outcome, but I mean, even worse, just because Canada did kinda they owned the stat board in that game. I believe they outshot it. Just like not only that, it's just when you watch the game, it looked like Canada was more deserved of the win, and just not to see them come out on top obviously was brutal to watch.
For me, it was a devastating Sunday. This is probably one of the first Olympics I was able to wrap my head around and experience as a fan, because when I was pretty young when the 2010, 2014 Olympics were going on, when NHLers could play. So this was the first big Olympics I was able to watch and kind of enjoy. And Canada was on a tear in the pool play, and then even leading up to this final game, I know we had a few shaky quarterfinals and semifinal matchups that got a little scary at some points, but it was amazing hockey. It was great to watch all these nations play as a hockey fan. Even on the women's side, it was great to watching that game early in the morning, Sunday morning. You get up, you watch it. First period, you're still kind of groggy, and then third period rolls around. Now you're in it. You're at the edge of the couch. You're ready to go, and you see how the third period unfolds as a Canada fan, and you're pulling hair out of your head. You're just in awe of how this could possibly go the way it's going, and 3-on-3 overtime was the way that ended it all, and I just shut the TV off and drowned in my thoughts for the rest of the day. It was a terrible Sunday for me.
Well, and yeah, not only that, that's the thing, because it ruined. You still have to go on with the rest of your day and expect it to carry on somehow, which is which is the worst part of it somehow. But I think just you saying like the 3-on-3 there, it's just when it came down to it, like, especially because obviously Jack Hughes did score it, but that's where players like him really excel, just because of his movement with the puck, and that's a lot of open ice, right, for 3-on-3. And um even like just going into that overtime, I wasn't too confident, just because a lot of the way that these American players play, like, uh I don't know, because you saw Quinn Hughes kind of pull off an overtime goal too, and that, like, both those Hughes brothers, the way they carry the puck through the neutral zone, and then, like, when they're building up that speed heading into the zone, like, they're very, very hard to stop, and they're one of the most lethal, or two of the most, sorry, lethal 3-on-3 guys, I'd say. I don't know. It wasn't a good look going into that final stretch into OT, because that's when I really, really just started to get nervous, because
Right.
just of what a lot of those guys are capable of.
I mean, you can, like, I know people are saying this 3-on-3 overtime thing. We were able to score. I'm saying we because, this is the one time we can say we, because you're allowed to be a fan of your own nation. But I forget what I was going to say here. Blame it on 3-on-3. But Marner was able to put us ahead when we were in 3-on-3 against Czechia, so you can't really use that as an excuse. But again, it's just 3-on-3 is turnover hockey, is what it is. Offense is just waiting for the puck to squeak out into the neutral zone or into that free space, and it's going to be a 2-on-1 the other way. And it's just 2-on-1, 2-on-1, odd man rush, 1-on-0. Like, it's a goaltender battle whenever it comes to 3-on-3, which Hellebuck is going to sweep that one against any goaltender right now, especially he's coming off a hip surgery, no? He had a big injury there.
Yeah, that kind of knocked him out for a little bit, but clearly he's right as rain. Like some of the saves that guy pulled off in that game, it just like it ticks me off.
It's like the Rookie of the Year movie when the kid breaks his arm and all of a sudden he can chuck
Yeah.
100. It's Hellebuck
Mhm.
breaks his hip and then all of a sudden the
Yeah.
hips are just unimaginable.
Same idea.
Yeah, pretty much. Except hopefully it doesn't fully heal back like the kids did and it just goes back to being normal.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't think that's gonna be the case for Hellebuck. I think this is gonna be doing this shit for the next, I don't know,
It,
whatever years. Like,
I just like the one thing I hope for as a Canada, like being a member of Team Canada, being a member of Canada. Hopefully, this goaltender situation in our nation builds up a little bit. We gotta build some stock in our goaltenders. Goaltending coaches out there, get these kids on some crazy diets, put them on the ice, just work the hell out of them. Just make them hate the game so that whenever they're older, they'll love it type thing. Do what they do over in Europe. Just
yeah,
20 of your 24 hours in the day is on the ice, just getting pucks whipped at you all day.
yeah. Go out and find our Carey Price, because yeah, man. I mean, how long have we been pushing that narrative that I mean, just comparatively to the U.S., like Canada just falls short in goaltending, and there's no other way to put that, right? Like you look at guys like Hellebuck, Swayman, Ottinger, like you look down the short list of the NHL, like the top goalies, and you don't see many like Canadians in that upper echelon.
And it's so crazy to think that even when we did the World Cup of Hockey, the goalies were like a toss up on just they were all great. Like you had Braden Holtby in his prime, Carey Price, Marc Andre Fleury, and then before that you had Carey Price, Martin Brodeur, Marc Andre Fleury. I don't think he was on that team yet, was he? For the 2010 team? No.
Oh, but even then, I
The
mean, like
one.
the days of those guys are gone. So you want to see like
It was
these next
Luongo,
guys.
not
Yeah,
Fleury in 2010.
yeah,
Yeah.
um, yeah, man. I mean, I'm not really convinced with kind of the goaltending situation that we've gotten. Like again, like I started off by saying, like I'm tired of the narrative just because I want to see something a little better.
Right. And then you like have these, we brought it up last podcast, these Russian goaltenders. There's 4 of them that could be a starter for any of these Olympic teams right now. 4 of them. You can only have 3 on a roster.
Yeah, man. I don't know. Like I'm just kind of looking through them here. Like I mean, Scott Wedgwood has had an amazing season, but like there's not like a big standout, at least for me, that I'm like scrolling through these top Canadian goalies in the league right now. I mean, like Jet Greaves is kind of coming up, and Logan
Logan,
Thompson's having a
yeah,
yeah, he's having a good season, but that's what I'm saying. I'm not seeing one standout name here that's a breakaway like this guy. Like he's got it. That's
right.
our guy. And I'm I don't know. Like we'll see. I mean, like everyone and their mother loves to say that Sam Montembeau is going to be that guy, or you know what I mean? Like it's so easy to throw any guy's name around and hope they can kind of lead the pack, but yeah, a lot of these guys are kind of middle of the pack.
Yeah,
Like Darcy Kemper's another one.
again, yeah. They're
Yeah,
all in the
like
same positions though. Like all of them are like let's hope they can lead the pack here in this game. Whereas whenever you were um like back then you were saying who wants to lead the pack today? Like you knew these guys could do it every single game, and now it's a what if? There's a lot more questions in the wrong direction now.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
sad to
yeah,
see.
and like look at again, you look at the list again, and uh, these guys aren't getting any younger.
No,
Kemper's 35, Wedgwood's 33, Inner's 32, and like
Thompson's
it
too old for the spark that he has now. You're not gonna. You haven't seen any young Canadian goaltenders lead a team in the show since Carey Price, pretty much.
yeah, yeah.
It's I don't know what's going on with that though.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's down to like a player development thing or I don't know. I couldn't tell you, man. I mean,
But when you toss it between Canada and USA, you'd think that we would have a little bit more stable hockey development programs for all positions when we're supposed to be the leading nation.
yeah, I mean, I'd guess so, but clearly not. I mean, in the goaltending standpoint at least. I
If
don't
you're
I
s-
don't know, man.
if you're spending if you're a parent, you're spending $4,000 on your U13 kids hockey gear, your goalie gear. Spend another $3,000 on some training so we can get the next Carey Price. Just please. We can start a little GoFundMe page for the next Carey Price. All the training in the world. We'll get top tier coaches. We just need a good goaltender in Canada. Kind of let's move past this a little bit. I'm starting to get hurt thinking about this game again. We can think about poor Tina, the stuffed animal Tina, Nathan McKinnon. Oh, it's just it was a perfect image of what the situation was for Team Canada. At them taking that extra lap after soaking in this loss, drowning in it at the blue line for 30 minutes. Then they have to wait again so they can get this stuffed animal. Nathan McKinnon takes a quick glance at it, and I've never seen a bigger eye roll in my life. Like, I wonder how many were sitting at the stalls after the game. Maybe who would come off as somebody that would take it home and be like, oh my God, I love this thing?
Like you got to think it's one of the big time dads that would take it home for one of his kids.
Mark Stone?
Maybe. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
man. Like I don't even understand it. I get the whole thing where, it's the Olympic mascot or whatever, but like why can't you just give it to them in like their care package when they get I don't know,
Yeah.
their Olympic care
They
package and all
they
that crap
probably
like it
they probably already got one in their care package, and these are just the
percent
extras
they
that
did,
they're
man.
dishing out right now.
Dude, it's again, it's a medal nonetheless for crying out loud.
Yeah.
It doesn't need a stuffed animal to go with it. The medal on its own can stand on its own.
And
Like
when you
it's so
see it,
weird, dude.
it comes off as like this is going to be your support doll for the next 24 hours as you get over this loss.
They didn't
The
leave
loss
the building those things, man. They went right in the trash.
Mark Stone's just got its own seat on the bus, buckles it
Yeah.
in.
Yeah. Mark Stone and Mark Stone only. Like
And then you see, like, back in the day when Sweden tossed the silver medal into the crowd, like, that was a big deal. You imagine how much backlash they would have got if they threw Tina into the crowd after the game?
I'm surprised no one did, to be honest with you.
It would have been Nathan McKinnon, if anybody.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Tina's controversial, and I guess we can just do a quick scan through what happened yesterday or not even yesterday, but just the entire outbursts of Team USA and their celebrations. I just want to start off by saying, like, we don't have any political images on any of the situation that's going on right now. We're going to give our honest opinion as reporters and sports fans and thinking of the athlete's perspective. I just, in my eyes, whenever it comes to the head of FBI being in the dressing room and the calls that went on and like live streams happening, this is the new day of celebrations. Like, everything has to be online in the moment, and you got to be careful when you're in a hockey dressing room with this stuff. You're having beers flowing. You're trying to be like a good moment. The brain slips a lot in these good moments, and it all being on a live stream in front of, I don't know, like 20,000 people must have been watching that live stream in the moment.
Least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you have a bunch of half drunk because the game just ended hockey kids, and now they get to talk to the president on the phone. They're gonna say some stuff that they don't think before they say it, type thing. And
Mhm.
then you have Donald Trump, who is going to give a response that's going to spark the media. He always does it. He made a comment on the USA women's team, and the USA men's team kind of giggled at it. I don't know if it was a giggle as in they actually thought it was funny or to laugh it off, but it it had a big impact on outside of hockey, which I think these pro athletes have to realize. Like, you got to realize that you are here to play hockey. You're not here to give a political impact at all. in any way, shape, or form. Yes, it's a tradition to go to the White House and whatnot, but when you spark that much controversy into it, I think there has to be something looked at there, I guess. Some
Yeah,
reconsideration.
yeah, and I think too, like, obviously with this guy's antics, like, he kind of had their hands tied making a joke like that, because like you gotta think about it in this sense. There's no guy wants to be the guy that says that's not funny to the president. You
Right.
know what I mean?
Yeah, no,
It's
you're in
like
the situation you don't want to say that you're
no guy is gonna do that.
right.
I don't I like it doesn't matter what they think there. It just, like I said, like he put them in a shitty situation just doing that. And then obviously, like you said, in the day and age that we're in here, everything is broadcasted and live. Everything. Like nothing gets missed. So yeah, it ticked people off, but I mean, man, like half the stuff that comes out of this guy's mouth ticks a lot of people off. So
Yeah, he knew what he was saying going into it. I'm pretty sure. Like everybody kind of read the room there. But Hillary Knight did comment on it, saying that the team's just trying to celebrate the win and push past all that stuff. Like it doesn't affect them. They know in their personal lives that they won gold. They're accepting the gold. They're taking it as an accomplishment, which they should. They pissed on every single team here. Like
yeah, yeah.
they were just
Like
unreal. And we've talked about for the past 2 podcast episodes how dominant they've been. These are college kids dominating the rest of the world, and Donald Trump decides to shit on them just to get a laugh, which it's not a laugh. It wasn't funny.
yeah, man. I mean, gold medal's a gold medal. You can, yeah. I mean, you just gotta if you can. But the thing is you look at especially women in sports. There's got to be, like, obviously it's at a different magnitude because of who said it, but women in sports have dealt with nearly not obviously not identical situations, but
Mm.
pretty damn close situations all the time. You know, with people trying to discredit them and take away shit, which is it's just brutal. Like hearing stuff like that, like seeing how big like the women's game has gotten, and like women across sports in general, and they're just flourishing, and they're becoming more and more prevalent in the field, and that's awesome to see. It's frustrating hearing comments and stuff like that, because you're always gonna have dummies coming out of the woodwork that are always gonna ride that narrative, and yeah, you just gotta ignore them, I guess.
And let's talk more about their actual celebration. Let's go back to the men's. Let's talk about their actual celebration. This is unreal. They go from Italy, getting hammered in Italy, fly to Miami, get hammered in Miami, and then probably so that's a 2-day bender. And then who's telling anybody that they weren't on a bender on their flight to the White House?
Yeah, dude, I think the funniest ones that I was seeing were the clips of Quinn Hughes, because like
Oh, he enjoyed
I don't know.
himself a little bit too.
Yeah, he never like pegged me as a guy that kind of gets after it. I guess like that's different story when you win a gold medal, but my God, like because the whole shtick with him is that he sees ghosts. Like
He
he was
wasn't
seeing
seeing
he
ghosts
he
this weekend.
no he I don't know what he was seeing, but he was like I don't think I saw a clip where he wasn't like inebriated. It was
Mm.
insane. Yeah, he got after it for sure. And like some of the like I don't know if you saw the clip, but I think they're on some sort of podcast, but they've got mics in front of them, so it's some sort of
No, it
interview.
is. I know it. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And Quinn's holding
Home
the
by 3 is the
yeah.
podcast name.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
He's Quinn's holding the Corona, and he's like mouthing to someone. He's like, "Oh, can you just give me another?" I love it. Like I just love seeing that party aspect come out of Scary Quinn.
And I guess obviously you want the guys to celebrate. Besides the conflict that's going on, it's a big accomplishment for these guys. You know, they haven't had a gold medal since 1980. Big deal. But you also got to realize this is mid-season. you have hockey, you have NHL teams to go back to. A little bit different story. I'll allow it with the Quinn Hughes part. He's been on the Vancouver Canucks for the past however long, and now he's finally able to enjoy a big win.
Yeah.
And it's just, you got to realize that the time that you're at right now, especially for Austin Matthews, this guy was the captain of USA. He was able to contribute a little bit more than he was in the Four Nations face-off. It was stated by the Hughes brothers specifically on Matthews' impact in the Olympic tournament. But he went on a 3-day bender, stayed in Miami, and skipped practice yesterday, just so he didn't have to make the travel from Toronto. Or I guess they would have went to the White House yesterday. So he went from the White House, skipped practice for this, and then goes back to Tampa, back to Florida, sunny southern state, to go play the Lightning tonight, which is the number 1 team in the Atlantic, and they're on a heater. They're on a 5-game heater right now. So, yes, you can enjoy the party and whatnot. You got to realize that now it's time to dig in, and it might just
Back
be
to your
me
day job, boys.
Yeah, it might just be me as a Leafs fan, hoping that Austin Matthews can kind of carry this winning mentality over. But in the position they're in, do you want the winning mentality to come back, or what do you want here?
Yeah, I mean, like I've said before, I don't support not the tanking, but well, sure. Let's just use the word tanking.
Yeah, you
I
can call it tanking.
I want them to try to win in every game. Give it your all, or
Right.
to me, like, what's the point then?
Mm-hmm.
No, but I think it's just funny, man. I mean, because I saw a lot of people on like Twitter and like just chatting with people saying like, because obviously Matthews, he had a fantastic tournament because he led the U.S. men in points and goals,
Right.
and he had a great tournament. People were like, oh, he's playing so well defensively. And I was saying to people, like, Kaylin, you don't watch Leafs games because this guy does that regularly.
Well,
And
he's
I
had to
think,
pick up on it a lot more this year now that Marner's gone.
well, yeah, and I think that's the thing too, is that's a huge part of his game, and you're seeing him pull it off, but you also got to look at his supporting cast that he had on that US team, right? It kind of bodes for a different
Yeah.
kind of situation for sure, man. And really, when you look back at it, he's not able to kind of like sprawl into that offensive zone or really just commit a lot of the time with the Leafs, because he's going to kind of hang guys out high and dry, because like you said, without Marner there, he's got to do a lot of the heavy lifting defensively when he's on the ice, right? And obviously as your center, you're going to expect him to do that. But what I'm saying is he's having to get caught in the back end a lot of the time because the Leafs are turning the puck over again and again, right? So you're like, this whole like winning mentality, like I don't think that they've never had a winning mentality. Like
Right.
that
Yeah.
that's always the goal at the end of the day, but I'm just kind of hoping that it I don't know. He's got to be able to bring something back to this team and kind of like bring it forward, because not only this, dude, like it goes Lightning, Panthers, and then the Sens. So these 3 games
Are they back home for the Sens, or are they in Ottawa? They stay on the road.
No, I think they come back home. But yeah, they do. And the thing is, man, is like, again, those are obviously 3 Atlantic teams, but I look at these games as statement games, man, because if you can string together, like, I think if you win 2 out of 3 of those games, it gives you no doubt, it's going to give you a little step closer to that playoff push, because like the thing is you see all like everyone ranting and raving about like how tight the Atlantic is, and will the Leafs make the playoffs? Everything's got to go right, and I'm saying that if the Leafs can go on a run and get closer to the playoffs, you also got to remember you need Boston to start losing a lot of games, the Sabres, the Sens.
You need a lot of things to go right
right
for the Leafs to even make it in right now.
Yeah. Yeah, so but it's possible. That's the whole thing I'm saying. Like I don't I won't support the losing on not on purpose,
Mm.
but like I said, I never want to see that out of the team ever. Like because especially when there's still like a clear chance here.
I
Like if you're
wouldn't say super clear, but yeah, it's clear.
right, right, but I guess I shouldn't say clear, but there's still a chance nonetheless. Like if you're bottom feeding in the league, what are you going to do at that point, right? You're going to win games here and there, but like they've got the pieces to push them into the playoffs. Yeah, I know, no Mitch, but this core is still there. A lot of it. So I I think it's very very possible, man.
Speaking of the core, like this year we've seen Bobby McMahon kind of introduce himself into this core as Marner left. He's been performing. He's got some trade value now. 9 days until the trade deadline. Do we kiss Bobby McMahon goodbye, send him to the Oilers, or do you think that's blown over by now?
Well, here's my thing, man. I mean, I thought he would have been dealt already if he was going to be dealt.
Right. Before the trade freeze?
Right. I would have thought it would have been there. I mean, that's not to say it's not going to happen. It's just I'm scared to see if he goes to Edmonton what kind of return we'll get because I do not want to see Andrew Mangiapane on this Leafs team. I'm just not a
No.
big Mangiapane guy, I'll be
It's
honest.
not a
Like I
one
just
for one value either.
no. So I don't know, like I won't be upset if they keep him on, but I would have thought they would have got something done before the Olympics, so he might not be going anywhere. And again, that's a good piece to have going forward anyway, so that's not a loss in any sense of it.
I know, like, with the trade freeze and whatnot, everything's been pretty quiet. It was heating up a little bit before the Olympics came around. Now it's at a standstill. Dougie Hamilton, is he off the table now? Do we know?
No, Dougie's still available, and I'd love to see Dougie. But
I think that's
another
what they got to push for.
well, if not that, uh, Mc, uh, Mackenzie
Not
Weegar's
McKenzie.
almost said Mackenzie
I
Hughes.
know.
Mackenzie Weegar's still on the block, and I'd be pretty damn happy with Mackenzie Weegar too. But yeah, I think you shoot for the stars in Dougie, and you kind of fall back on Mackenzie Weegs if need be, because I love how that guy plays puck. I really do.
He's a great guy. I've heard from connections to him that he's a pretty good guy. So if they're able
Yeah.
to pick him up, it'll be a treat for Leafs fans. But I don't know. We just gotta fix up this decor.
Well, just
There's
do something.
there's got to be a change that will cause a team spark. Matthews' performance in the Olympics, Nylander's performance in the Olympics, Ekman Larsson's performance, these are all things that can have individual sparks because the other team was just enjoying their break. They were probably down south having vacation with their family, and now they have to come back with the players that were in the Olympics still hot. Like, that's an individual spark to those stars. We need something that will impact the entirety of the team if they want to get this big playoff push going, like you said, that's kind of starting to get out of clear sight.
Yeah, and I think too, like kind of like as I'm looking at this decor, and I'm just wishing. I mean, I'm sure a lot of teams wish they were the Tampa Bay Lightning, but because do you remember like earlier on in the year? Because obviously they were without Chernak and Hedman for a while, and they kind of just constructed this AHL back end, and it
Yeah.
rocked, man. And just kind of seeing like those guys like JJ Moser and Darren Radish are having that top pairing is numbers wise, stats wise, the best in the league across the board. Whereas these guys were always kind of second, third pairing guys, and all of a sudden Tampa's got one of the best decors in the league. And this is because like I said, they had to move those guys up from the AHL and kind of just scramble things around. And when you look back at the Leafs one, like the decor, it's been this six for a little bit now. And looking at these guys, I mean, obviously I'm a big fan of OEL, But the rest of them, and I do like Jake McCabe, but other than that, I don't know. They don't do it for me. I don't know. I just think something's got to change back here. Whether you do bring in Dougie or Uyghur or whatever it is, right? But I do
Yeah.
want to see some sort of shift here because clearly it's not working. So I'd like to see some sort of change.
Thank God baseball's coming back. 'Cause, like, as you've been explaining, it feels like the Leafs are stuck. They need a trade move, but they have no trade value. And their AHL system, you have some names there. Logan Shaw's been on that team for forever, but none of them are like contenders to make this NHL roster. And I think that's where it's different from MLB that we're seeing the minor leagues and how much of an impact that has on your actual major league team. The Coast and the AHL have such a minor impact on the NHL that I think there's got to be a way for a team to start using their farm systems wisely, build these players, the young stars that are getting drafted straight after their 1 year of the Q or 1 year after college, build them up in the A before they come into the show and like they're actually ready. So these rookies aren't just wasted because Easton Cowan, I think he could have had a little bit better progression going into the A than going into the O. He had success in the O, but you're playing against junior guys. Like if you're playing in the A, you're playing against past NHLers and guys that are fighting for a roster spot.
Yeah, that's like because especially coming from, well, I think it's just dependent on the league, but it's not always going to be a seamless transition. And
Yeah.
I think that might be kind of what we touched on over the last couple pods is just kind of seeing guys come through the NCAA system. I think that
Mm.
might kind of put a change on it to a certain extent, just because of how strenuous the training and the development camps and in those leagues and how beneficial they are to guys' growth. I think that's gonna kind of be the kind of cornerstone of hockey for the next little bit. So I think that might boost the prospect pool.
And I don't want to be, I'm a big fan of the I'll be CHL ride or die for a long time, but there's just, there's not stable competition. You're going to have a star-studded lineup like the Medicine Hat Tigers were last year, and then you're going to face a bottom feeder, no diss to the WHL, but like the Moose Jaw Warriors, who struggle to find talent every single year. It's just the NCAA, there's divisions, so everybody that's kind of at a similar skill level gets to play against their own skill level. And that's why I think these college kids are coming out into the show being a little bit more consistent than some of these CHL guys have been. Uh, Do you want to switch over to spring training? I mean, it's spring
Yeah,
training, but
I'm
it's
I'm itching for
baseball.
it. I'm itching for it, man.
It's crazy how quick the off season goes whenever your team makes it all the way to the end.
Yeah,
It felt like
let's just,
I was
let's do it. Let's
crying
do it
over
every
game
time.
7. Let's not have the same result every time.
No, no, no. But I'm saying let's get there every time because
Baseball
baseball's already
season
back.
Baseball season is so long whenever you make it to the World Series. Oh my God, I'm so excited. Blue Jays, taking off a few losses here in the spring training. They had a big win against the Phillies to open up spring training, and now they're tumbling down, but they're not losing terribly. I actually don't know. Did they? It was a 4-4 tie in the
Yeah,
Detroit.
against the
They,
Tigers. Yeah,
they don't go to extras in spring training, but um, Blue Jays are, they're giving each pitcher a little taste here. 1 innings pitched per game. Cody Ponce got his first start today, only 1 inning. Didn't give up any. We got to see Tyler Rogers dish up a little bit. He gave up 2 runs, but this is spring training. He's a sidearm thrower. He had 2 strikeouts, so he kind of did his job in a way.
that
It's
was also a full strength Yankees lineup. I'd like to add that, but yeah,
Yeah, but the Yankees don't face them that often. It's
no, no,
only
no,
during
no.
the Subway Series that they would have faced them, or whenever they're playing against NL teams like San Francisco. But um, that's the key part here is that the thing with MLB is that you could be strategic in so many ways. You could pick up an NL pitcher so that all your AL competition has no clue what he looks like because you
Hmm.
play these teams so Like, you play them, what, once a season, if an NL
Yeah,
team? They changed it
yeah.
up a little bit now, where last year, 2 years ago, you used to just play the AL East for half the season, and then now they kind of expanded it a little bit. But
Hmm.
I heard a thing today, I don't know if it was John Schneider that said it, but reporters said that the Blue Jays are being very cautious about Trey Savage's arm health right now. The
Hmm.
guy pitched so many innings last year from low A all the way up to the big leagues. Nobody expected a rookie or even himself, his body, to expect to be in the majors for as long as he did, get as many starts as he did, and be as effective as he did. So they're trying to keep his innings at a minimum this season, just so that year two comes around, he's still consistent, because when you're coming out the gates hot, you're throwing 8 innings, 7 innings. Like, he's shown that he can go the distance. You just don't want to burn out a guy like this early. And I think John Schneider has seen that in Alek Manoah, what happened with Alek Manoah there. And I like how cautious they're being about Trey Savage, because pitchers' injuries make or break a career now. And this guy's hot. Why would you want Tommy John this early?
Yeah, dude, and like even as you're saying that, as you're talking about like pitcher injuries, I'm just hearing Ricky Tiedemann, Ricky Tiedemann, Ricky
Yeah.
Tiedemann, because like it came up today. The kid's got elbow soreness again, because like he he's had such a tough go, like because he missed 2025, he had Tommy John, but I saw that there wasn't any structural damage
Yeah.
in the elbow soreness, but again, that's not a good sign when uh, he's got elbow soreness in the first like coming weeks of spring training, just because that like the kid throws gas.
Gas.
Yeah, yeah, and he's a lefty, and he's one of the best. Well, I think at the time he was the Jays' number one prospect, and
Yeah, he was ahead of Trey Savage there until his injury, and then Trey Savage started his climb up.
yeah, so I mean, hopefully, like you were saying, like just kind of being cautious and keeping these arms healthy, because I don't want to see him go down again, because I think he's a piece they're actually gonna aim to use this season in and out of the bullpen, because yeah,
Yeah,
like I
Brendan
said, like
Litter.
yeah, he's got like crazy velo in this. It's a good arm to have in the back end for sure, man. So fingers crossed that he can stay healthy this entire season, and the whole thing with spring training is like, don't get me wrong, man. It's cool to see baseball back, but you can't use it as like a standpoint or whatever, because let's not forget, like I think, yeah, last spring training, George Springer had his worst ever spring training. He hit 108, 15 games, and then he
Oh my
went on to have
god.
the best season of his career last year. So like, yeah, like you get to see cool little first time seeing players like we just like seeing Okamoto, and I'll get into that in a sec, but you you don't want to like count your chickens before they hatch, sort of thing, just because like if a guy's struggling in spring training, that's what spring training's for. Like you'll get to see them kind of work out the kinks throughout the season, and I wouldn't like worry too much going through it. But I will say this, man, is seeing Kazuma Okamoto, this guy rocks. Like that homer that he hit, he launched it. Like launched it, man. And like obviously seeing him come in, and obviously I delve into a little like research here, and in terms of just raw power coming out of the Japanese league, he is on the same tier as Ichiro and Otani for power
Mhm.
coming out of the Japanese league.
Yep.
So if that doesn't tell you that this guy is gonna be a rock star, I don't know what does, man.
So I just want to give like a little in-depth analysis, because again, as you were doing deep research, so was I, because I love watching the mechanics part of baseball.
Yeah.
Mechanics is make or break on a player. I've been in that slump where you're like, is it my mechanics? Is it the way? Like, what is it? And then you start messing up your mechanics. You get worse, and then it will all click again. For Okamoto, he was dealt sinkers left, right, and center to start off that at bat. He's somebody who doesn't wiggle the bat too much in the box. He stays nice and calm. He has his toes down, heel up on that front leg, and it's one fluid motion. He's not like bouncing up and down there. He's ready for the ball to come, and I'm so excited to see what he's able to do in Rogers Center because it's gonna be great. I'm so excited for regular season, Billsy. You don't even understand. Regular season ticket prices are through the roof right now, but you know, it's what happens whenever your team becomes great all of a sudden and is one of the only successful Toronto teams since 2019. Sucks.
Yeah, man.
I
I
was
mean,
so grateful to be able to secure some of those general admission tickets last year for only $20, and
yeah,
those aren't
because
coming back.
yeah, I mean, I guess I should have figured that, but yeah, someone was telling me that, and I almost started crying. I was like, what do you mean? I mean, I guess I should have figured that they were gonna kind of take that away, but
They're not away, but they make them a lot harder to get. I think you're gonna have to do the district drop thing again, which was hectic during postseason. I that's how I felt during the postseason. I got the one ticket for the Yankees and Jays
hmm
game 2, and got to see the Vladdy. I was there at 2 hours before game. It was so hot outside. Got to see, Trey Savage have, I think it was only, I think he had 12 or 11 that game. And then the next start, he beat his own record, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're
So
right.
I got to see the first record break. That was unreal. A little bit too early in the day for me to collect it all, but I remember I left at the
hmm
7th inning because general admission was so terrible for that. They weren't letting people off the flight deck, and if you left, you had to stand in the back of the line of people that are trying to get on the flight deck
Never
because
leave, never leave.
there was people throwing hissy fits, like saying that their bladder was going to explode and like screaming at these security guards. And the best part about these security guards at the Jays games, they do not care one bit.
No, dude,
They're
you gotta stand your ground there. I wouldn't have left. You just gotta you
they're
gotta
so
bunker down.
nice. They're so nice, the security guards there, because you're getting paid to watch baseball all summer.
Yeah,
You're doing your duties, but whenever you get the chance to peek over the shoulder and watch a grand salami, you're gonna do it.
yeah,
And then they're giving me high fives after Vladdy's grand slam, and then 2 seconds later, I just see him face to face with a guy telling him to stay on the flight deck. Like it's crazy
yeah,
how
yeah,
Toronto fans get.
yeah.
I'm just stop making me think about the postseason, dude. I'm blushing over
Well,
here.
okay. I'll move on from it because something that just popped in my head, and I kind of forgot to bring this up is like because I wanted to talk about it on the last pod is just with obviously the World Baseball Classic coming up in a little bit here. I think we're gonna get to see a lot of guys get chances. Obviously, that wouldn't normally kind of get
Right.
get a run of games. And one that I'm like really excited about is Eloy Jimenez because he'll be playing first with Vladdy going to the Classic there. And if you take a step back and you look at the 2019 pipeline of the top 100 prospects, let me list them for you. 1, Vladdy Guerrero Jr. 2, Fernando Tatis Jr. 3, Eloy Jimenez. So, I mean, because I think no, he did. Yeah, he hit a homer in spring training, and the guy's got like raw power. That's another guy that can hit bombs, another good bat. I just don't know where. Like I said, he's gonna get a good little stretch of games during that World Baseball Classic. I don't know where they can kind of slot him in, like as needed.
I'll be honest, dude. I don't like this MLB pipeline ranking system. Have you looked at this year's ranking system?
No, I haven't. Why?
Trey Savage is 12th. Max Clark is 10th. And then you have like Connor Griffin for the Pittsburgh Pirates is first over Trey. Like, dude, how are
Well,
you
I
going to
mean,
look at.
dude, have you seen what Connor Griffin's pulling off?
I know, but they have Bubba Chandler ahead of Trey Savage. Yes, Bubba Chandler's going to eventually do very big things here for the Pirates. That's if Paul Skeen goes and his basically identical twin replaces him.
Yeah,
But why is Trey Savage 12th? He's
I think
breaking
that
records, and there's kids that haven't even touched the league yet that are
yeah, I think that well that's the point there. I think they just don't want to have too much like recency bias going into it or I don't know, man, with lists like this, like they're all so subjective. Like so subjective.
like Ethan Holiday is 24th, and dude, I thought he got drafted last year. He
Yeah.
did. Why is
Yeah.
he 24th on the Pipeline Top 100? I don't. All right, let's move past this. This is making me so frustrated right now. Oh my god, I just got to get off the baseball topic. It's either I blush over postseason or I freak out over what I just saw there on the Pipeline. Holy. We're at the 50-minute mark. This is probably one of the longest pods, even though it's just me and you here tonight. We can talk. I'll just talk briefly about the Raptors, OKC Thunder. Toronto lost 116 to 107, but RJ Barrett, 21 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists. Scotty Barnes continuing his defensive dominance. 7 assists, 3 steals, 4 blocks in the game. Seems like every time this guy plays superstar talent, he's a defensive monster. Then we have the Raptors taking on the Spurs tonight that Luke Fitzner is at right now. I mean, they take a tough loss, and if they aren't able to get past the Spurs, it's not the greatest start after All-Star break, but I don't know.
Yeah, man. I mean, looking back on that game against OKC, like they beat them last time and obviously this was the chance to take down the NBA's best for the second time this season and I kind of thought this was their best runway with no Shea and no J-Dub. I thought this was
Yeah,
kind of like the perfect sort of
it was a
situation, if you
cakewalk
will,
in
right?
all
Well,
situations.
yeah, but the thing is though, like, because you dive into more of like the defensive metrics, Scotty was the only positive. He was plus 18 across the whole game, and everyone else was deep in the negatives because he there's a reason that our boy Darko is kind of ranting and raving that he'll be defensive player of the year one year because like that's such a huge part of his game and he's able to limit a lot of like the biggest stars to low points. I just think when he's having to carry that load and he's got to be the point getter, I think he's just going to fall off a bit there and
Mm,
that's kind of
yeah,
where you see the disconnect, at least to me. And like the thing is, man, is like there hasn't been that many stretches where the whole starting five has been healthy. Obviously, Jakob Poeltl was out again,
he's back
and
tonight. He's back tonight. He has 2 minutes played so far.
oh,
One
he is back.
rebound, 1 assist. Don't I can get into that in a second too, but continue.
Yeah, I just think, man, I want to see more consistency from this Raps team. Like they really struggle to string together a streak of wins. Like they're doing the thing where you have 2 big wins and then you drop a game to a team you should be beating, and
Hmm.
it's too up and down for me to really just want to like be like a devout like believer in them.
Yeah,
But yeah, go ahead though.
Jakob Poeltl, man, what's going on? It's game on, game off, game on, game off, game on, game off. We're past trade deadline. No more moves can be made here. Everybody was talking about at the start of the season, Anthony Davis was going to be that moving piece in exchange for Jakob Poeltl because of Jakob Poeltl's inconsistency, but we all thought it was going to turn around after a lengthy recovery. Dude, he's still in and out. Anthony Davis, I'm pretty sure, is having more games played than Jakob Poeltl this year. And it was in a situation when the Mavericks were willing to give away Anthony Davis.
Yeah, like I don't know. I don't see as to why this is, and it's not even like a skill set thing. It's purely the guy can't stay healthy, and that's a detriment to this team because when your starting center is rarely in the lineup, that's a big problem, man.
And you can't even say height is an issue because we have plenty of 7-footers, 7+ footers in the league now. 6'9" is a guard height, and it's back issues. This guy's a monster out there. He shouldn't have any injuries. You're gonna see more injuries in these like lanky scrawny centers like Wembanyama. Everybody was super surprised in his first season that he wasn't injury prone right off the gates.
Hmm.
I don't know what's going on. Like, is he just not staying fit off the court? Like, is it a health thing? You just can't stay healthy.
I don't know. Maybe you should apply. You should go play
You're gonna
center for the
see
Raps.
a white Muggsy Bogues out there playing center. Tip
So be
off,
it, man. So be
it's gonna
it.
be like, have you ever seen that clip on Instagram where it's like the little kid versus the big guy on tip off, and the little kid just runs behind the big guy and grabs it off of the
Yeah.
tip? That's gonna be me.
Go ahead, man. Why
I'd
not?
bring up ticket sales though. I'm saying that.
I don't know about all that, but
I can bring the Harlem Globetrotters to the Raptors, but they're just in too much of a playoff push. I don't want to toss that out the window.
right.
I'm better off
Good save.
going out as what's the polar bear's name for the Leafs?
Carlton?
Yeah, my bad. That was a bad one. Is it bad they remembered Louis and not
Yes.
Carlton?
Yes, man.
God. Anyways, I'd be better off just signing. Do they hire often for mascots? That might be my new.
I don't know. You better look into that because
I could be
fading
like
fast here.
I could be the mascot that does the crazy stuff, like the fanatic, 4-wheeler on the ice, just anything, and I'll do it.
You should look into that. I mean that wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anybody at MLSE listen to the pod, email Cohen Ingram, ingramcohen@gmail.com, hit it up. And, I'm expecting a decent pay here and some health insurance if I'm really going to be taking the big risks, Well, all right, folks, we are almost at the 1 hour mark. This is probably one of the longer episodes that we've done here. It's just me and Jack tonight, episode 6 of the Anchored In podcast. Thank you guys all so much for staying until the very end. Jack, do you have anything to say before we wrap this one up?
I will just say we've got some Anchored In podcast stickers, and fingers crossed because I know people are dying for it. Hopefully we'll get some merch soon.
It's in the works. We don't want to be spoiling anything yet, but stay tuned for some more news here on the Anchored In podcast. Once again, I'm Cohen Ingram alongside Jack Billings. Thank you all for watching episode 6, and we will see you all next time.